Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome to episode 56 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I will be your co host today.
And I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And before we start things off, it's always something with me these past couple episodes. Like 2 episodes ago, my mic was fucking loudly buzzing the entire time. Last episode, I got a whole new mic set up. Got the Shure SM7B, which, like, if you guys know podcasting, this is like a high end, like Joe Rogan uses this. This is like what they use on every podcast. We record, and then I noticed there's still like a buzzing in the audio. I do some research where I got it from. Turns out I accidentally bought like a Temu Shure. It was a fake Shure, so I got scammed. Now I finally have a real Shure that's not buzzing, hopefully, unless I'm listening back now and wanting to
I think
punch
we're
myself.
good this time.
But yeah, this week's thing for me is I'm overcoming a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit nasally, that's why. I'm also exhausted because I had a weekend in Universal. I actually went to Halloween Horror Nights this weekend. It was really fun. It was cool. Like, if you're into horror movies and stuff, like Joe and I are, there's a lot to appreciate.
Yeah, I went last year. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they had some cool houses. A Quiet Place stuck out to me. It was really interesting how they did like those big creatures and also kept it relatively quiet in the house. There was also like a ton of Blumhouse stuff. We ended up going to some nightclub that was like Blumhouse themed. That was really cool.
Did they have any FNAF stuff with the Blumhouse stuff or no?
Not really. They had like a
figured.
photo op kind of thing that me and my friends took a picture in front of. It was just like the animatronics. And, yeah, nothing crazy. You know, that video on Twitter that's going around of the Wolfman, like in his costume?
Yeah.
That, I guess we'll talk about it later, but
Yeah.
they had
Was that there actually? Oh,
they
was?
had that stand, but the guy wasn't in it because
you think they may have? Well, yeah, we'll talk about it when I get there.
No, but honestly, it's because we kind of got bad weather. At night, it would rain like on and off, and whenever it rained, all the Scare Zone actors went inside because I guess like if they're like jumping at people, they don't want to slip and fall, and also probably like makeup stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually see that disgusting Wolfman design, but we'll talk about it later. Anyways, I guess to get into the main episode today, we'll be talking about Beetlejuice. We'll be talking about Ju-on, the Grudge, which, Joe, you kind of confused me last episode. I wasn't sure which Grudge we were going to be talking about, but it's this one, right? Hopefully.
Yes. No, I hope we watched the same movie.
Yeah. And we'll also be breaking down our top 10 favorite sci-fi films, which I recommended last week that we do. And yeah, I think we will start off actually with another movie that we actually were lucky enough to get sent this film early from Andrew de Burgh. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Thank you so much for sending us the film. It's a really cool opportunity, and I hope you find success in this. But we'll talk about the film. So it's called The Seductress from Hell, and the synopsis is: a Hollywood actress undergoes a horrific transformation after being pushed to the edge by her psychopathic husband. So Joe and I actually watched it together.
Yeah.
And one thing, you could tell it's low budget, but that's not necessarily a complaint about the film. I was actually surprised like how good it looked. It was shot in a lot better quality than I expected.
Yeah, I agree.
But overall, I think I enjoyed the movie. There was a lot of cool, body horror, and you could tell they were trying to go for lots of practical, like working with that budget. The scenes where the seductress herself is actually, doing her psychotic break moments and torturing these people, I think were probably my favorites in the movie.
I agree. Yeah. Particularly, I like the. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go ahead.
The one with the husband, because it's kind of through the course of the movie you kind of watch. Actually, I don't know if we should get into spoilers because the movie hasn't really released yet.
We'll keep the discussion spoiler free.
Yeah,
because I'm not really sure if we're allowed to say anything.
Yeah. So, but there's a particular scene with the husband in the movie that I enjoyed. I also like the. I thought the score was really good too.
Yeah,
Kind of
there's
like
a lot of
Halloween-esque in a way.
yeah, a really cool piano score that
Yeah,
to me, yeah, it was reminiscent of The Exorcist, Halloween,
yeah.
things like that, those old horror movies. But yeah, not to get into too much of the spoiler territory, but you brought up the husband a bit. Um, just to go into some negatives about the film that I had, they try to set up this dynamic between the husband and the wife, who's the seductress,
Hmm.
and I think it was just overdone a little bit. Like the husband is kind of like comically abusive and mean
Yeah,
to her to a point where it's like we as the audience we understand,
yeah. It's
you know.
established that they like that he's an asshole.
Yeah, it just kind of it dragged on too long,
Yeah,
and I also thought that plot point wasn't really necessary to the film because there's also this satanic element in it, and I
yeah.
think in my opinion, it would have been more effective if it was like she's doing this stuff because
Because yeah,
of Satan, not because her husband's an asshole.
yeah,
Because she could have just killed him just for being an asshole, you know?
yeah.
Or sorry, I don't know. I didn't not to
No,
spoil
yeah. I
too
don't.
much,
That's why I'm like I don't know what we should talk about or not.
but
Um, but yeah, I agree that there could have been like better maybe motives for her. Not I don't know. I don't want to say motives, but like the reasons behind I guess what she's. That is kind of. I don't know how to explain it. Like because I can't really talk about why she's doing these things or like you know.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll
Yeah.
yeah, it's
They're
hard to
like,
to
yeah,
talk
I feel like
about
we
it.
should have asked him before.
Yeah. Well, I already spoiled one thing, so I hope that's not an issue. Um, but yeah, let me think. Just a couple other things to note about it. I just think it's a little too long for what it's trying to be. I know a lot of when I was looking into the film a little more, I know the director mentioned that he wanted the seductress to be sort of like a pinhead like figure or some sort of like next horror icon. And you see those type of movies where you have this lead in, like a slasher or whatnot. And those are all just kind of like quick to the point,
Yeah.
90 minutes or less. And they work well as being that. I think this dragged on a little bit too long, especially
Yeah.
because most of the film is sort of exposition, especially the first half, to a
Yeah. Like
point where
I
it
feel like the movie could have cut like a good 20 minutes and
yeah,
still like maintain most of the plot points.
yeah. And in saying this, we don't know much about
Yeah,
filmmaking,
no,
so
yeah, obviously.
this review feels like a little more personal because, we've actually got this sent to us, and
Yeah.
we know that the person who made it is gonna listen. So but,
Yeah.
to be fair, I'm not just gonna act like it's the greatest movie of all time, it has its
Yeah.
flaws that don't necessarily have to do with the budget. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, to get back to some of the positives, I was surprised also by how good the performances were.
Yeah. I agree.
Um, I want to quickly bring up the cast to give them their props. But
Yeah.
I had one standout that actually might surprise you. Here,
No, I think I know who it is too.
hold on 1 second. Sorry,
Because we both mentioned this character, I think.
yeah. So let's see. So Raj Jawa, if that's, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, as Derek Patel. He was the standout to me. I
Yeah.
really liked he was really believable, his character. He did a great job. I probably liked his character the most out of anyone. And also,
Yeah.
Rocio Scotto as Zara was fantastic. Especially those scenes where she has to go all in. You could see she's like the veins in her fucking head, bro.
Yeah.
She's really putting her
She's locked
all.
in that performance.
Yeah. Um, Jason Faunt is also in it. I think he might be the most notable name because of his work with the Power Rangers movies.
Rangers, yeah.
Not really a big Power Rangers guy, but I respect it.
Pretty cool, yeah.
There's also Mr. James Hyde. He was the guy who Zara met for dinner. Um,
Oh, that okay.
we yeah, he was great too. We brought up that.
That scene,
Uh,
yeah, that was like one of our favorite scenes in the movie.
yeah, that was just a very well done scene.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I really
Um,
have
yeah,
much
I don't know
else.
if we should talk about like favorite scenes because again, spoilers, but I don't know if you want to go to ratings.
Yeah, I had one thing to say, but it's like slipping my mind right now.
Well,
Um, I don't I don't know. I literally just had something in my head, and I'll go back to it if I think of it.
yeah,
But yeah. So we could go to ratings.
yeah,
You want to go ahead first?
yeah. I gave it a 2.5, so a 5 out of 10. There's a lot of elements of this movie that I enjoyed, and I have to respect this because it's kind of, it's a low budget horror movie, so I'm not expecting the greatest thing in the world. But like Matt said, there are some plot points that don't have to do with the budget that I didn't like. But overall, it was a solid horror movie.
Yeah. I just remembered what I was thinking of, so
Well,
before I give the rating. um so yeah, one other thing is like when you see the title The Seductress from Hell, I kind of was expecting there to be more of that like seduction. You see it a little bit in that dinner scene where, she's bringing this guy
yeah,
back to
I,
their
f- I
apartment
f-
and whatnot. I feel like there should have been more like I don't know, like I guess sexual like a sexual nature to how the
I mean,
character acted
I
and
guess like you don't really have to be like when someone gets seduced. I feel like normally it's like scenes and like dinner scenes or like people on dates and stuff like that. I feel like by the end of the movie, without going into spoilers, like her character is more of like the title, the Seductress from Hell, than like when she starts. That makes sense.
yeah, definitely by the end. Um, but yeah, that was just a little nitpick. I just felt like with that title, they should have like,
Yeah,
and
that's fair. No, that's
that's
fair.
like who she is. They should have went
Yeah,
more into like the seductress
the
aspect.
Seductress part. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, to get to my rating, I also gave it 2.5 stars, just like you, Joe. Like you said, it works for what it is. It's a low budget horror movie. So you get those aspects, such as the body horror and practical effects, like those type of things that we both enjoy a lot. But, I just think it was a bit too long for me.
yeah.
And some of the plot stuff didn't really make much sense, in my opinion. But yeah, I just want to thank you again if you're listening, Andrew, for sending us the movie.
Yeah, we appreciate
Really,
it.
yeah, I really appreciate it. Hope we weren't too harsh or
Yeah,
too loving. We have to
be in the
speak our
middle.
truth. So, yeah, I guess we can move on now to the next film that we saw, which was Beetlejuice, directed by Tim
Tim
Burton.
Burton.
So I'll give
I don't know if I was gonna talk about it just because I literally just saw the movie like maybe like 2 hours ago.
yeah, you could
Um,
talk about it first, but I'll just read the synopsis in case
yeah,
anyone
yeah,
hasn't seen it. So here we go. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter Astrid accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. So,
yeah.
Joe, you just saw it this morning. So, what's your
Um,
thoughts fresh in your head right now?
did it feel necessary? No, but it's honestly, it's like I feel like it's on par with the original Beetlejuice. It kind of hits the same notes. Beetlejuice has a similar like kind of screen time to the original. Maybe he's introduced more in the beginning in this, but like similar to the original, he doesn't. He's not like the kind of primary focus of the movie. It's more about the relationships, which I kind of liked. I liked that it was exploring like Lydia Dietz's daughter. What's her name?
Astrid.
Astrid. I knew it started with an A.
Yeah, played
But
by Jenna
played by
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. I also enjoyed the character Rory, which is kind of Lydia Dietz's like husband at the time, but he's also her manager. But he felt like kind of he's supposed to be this like artificial character where like everything he says is just I don't know what's the word for that, man. I can't think of it.
I don't know, he's putting
Like
on a facade.
yeah, like he's just a facade. Yeah, he put on a facade basically. But I thought he gave a good performance. Um,
Yeah, that was Justin Theroux.
yeah.
Uh,
But I mean, is this necessary? Like I said, probably not. But it was fine for what it is. I thought. I appreciate that a lot of the kind of sets and stuff, or a lot of it is like practical effects. Even when like they kind of do like this, there's this whole kind of Soul Train aspect of the movie, and like they actually have like a prop set train and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
agree with what you said about how it like hits a lot of the same notes. I do prefer the original to this, but
yeah,
I just love this world. I love the aesthetic. I love just all like the clever, when you go to the underworld or not underworld, I guess, but the afterlife
yeah,
and you see how these people died and they kind of like bring that into the afterlife with them. That's a good way to tell jokes. There's like the contortionist was one of them.
yeah,
There's obviously the husband who got his head bit off by a shark.
yeah. I thought that was really funny,
That
actually.
was funny. And then I also like to get into a little bit of spoiler territory here. There's this character that's introduced that's Astrid's father, who is, I guess, Lydia Dietz's ex-husband who ended up dying. Or
Yeah, I think his
I
name's
guess,
Richard, right?
does that make, if he dies, does that make him her ex still? I guess, right?
No, it's not their ex. It's just like it's her
I don't.
like I don't know.
That's
It's
a
still her
weird.
husband technically.
I don't know, but anyways, yeah, he died, so they eventually find him in the afterlife, and they kind of have like this, wholesome reunion. Except the way he died was he got eaten by a bunch of
The
piranhas.
piranhas,
So like
yeah,
the whole time he has like these piranhas flapping on him and stuff. I
yeah,
thought that was very funny. I thought Willem Dafoe's character was really funny.
yeah. He was
I,
great.
I was a big fan of his performance in this.
Yeah,
Danny
he,
DeVito was good too.
yeah. That was a nice little cameo.
What were you gonna
Um,
say?
I forgot. I don't know the actress name. Monica Bellucci, I believe her name is.
Yeah, yeah,
She was good as Dolores. That's kind of Beetlejuice's kind of ex-wife in the movie. I thought she was good.
yeah. What'd you think about them giving Beetlejuice a backstory?
Um, I mean, I like that they keep it pretty simple. They don't kind of still don't explain everything. One thing I do like about this world is that, like you said, the aesthetic is really good, but nothing is really explained. It's kind of left up to imagination, and I really enjoy that. Like, there doesn't have to be an explanation as to why, like these people still look like this in the afterlife, or like there's like a soul train. Like, none of it makes sense, but you don't question it because it's just the way the world looks.
Yeah. One thing I really like about Beetlejuice is just how he seems to have pretty much infinite power
Power,
in
yeah,
the underworld. He could kind of just do whatever he wants.
yeah,
And it seems like the whole plot, like he could do whatever the fuck he
yeah. He's
wants.
just he. And
He's like
honestly,
messing around.
he breaks the fourth wall a couple times, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
They don't do that in the original.
Even like the main there's like this big plot point at the end, which is like one of the major conflicts in the movie is
Yeah,
basically Astrid gets tricked into swapping her life for a ghost in the underworld who's gonna like go back to the surface and she's gonna get
yeah,
stuck down there. And it's like this whole big thing. And then like Beetlejuice kind of just like solves it.
yeah.
Like he just like swaps places with this guy and
The guy to hell.
yeah, it's just like he could just do whatever the fuck he wants. Like
Yeah,
there's no reason for any
yeah.
conflict.
It
But
was funny the scene too. What did he stamp
yeah,
on it? It was like suck it or something like that. It was
yeah, something stupid like that.
yeah. Keaton was
Um,
great too. He was right on beat with like he didn't felt like just I can't speak. I'm sorry. Um, just on par with like him and the original Beetlejuice. He didn't feel like offbeat at all.
yeah, I agree. That's why I'm kind of like torn on it because, and this is a criticism that I don't like to say because no movie is necessary technically,
Yeah,
but I don't like calling movies unnecessary, but a lot of times with these legacy sequels, it's like they're just not necessary, you know?
yeah,
Like why do you have to dig up the grave of a film that's 30 plus years old
yeah,
now? Like why now? What's the reason that this has to come out now,
yeah.
you know?
And I feel
And
like we can. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I was gonna say, like, at first, especially towards the beginning of the movie, I was kind of like, dude, this is just such a cash
Yeah,
grab, legacy
yeah,
sequel, whatever. But then as it went, was I was bought more and more into it. I don't know
yeah.
if it was the performances or the world. I don't know. I
I
think
f-
another thing that helped me a lot was my favorite scene was that wedding, the wedding scene.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
like everything that I love about Beetlejuice all in one. You
I
have
agree.
the dance number, you have the over the top aspect of it, and then at the same time you have like Willem Dafoe and his
like
goofy
goons.
clan of goons coming into the church and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was just very well done.
No, I agree. What I was gonna say though is I agree with you that like why are we digging up these franchises? Like even when I was waiting for the movie, they had the trailer to the Lion King movie, and I'm like, why is this even? I just don't understand. What's the point of making a live action Lion King over a franchise that's like over what? It was just the 25th anniversary of it, I think, or something like that.
Well, that's a
Like,
prequel, that Lion King.
no, but still, it's like I'm just saying, like it's still an old franchise, the Lion King.
Yeah. No, we talk about this a lot, I feel like,
Yeah,
we know why they do it, for
yeah,
money.
yeah.
It's for
I'm
money.
sure like it'll randomly make $800 million for some reason.
Yeah. This
But
movie, I think, did pretty
yeah,
well.
I was gonna say. Speaking of it, this made I think 140 million opening weekend, which is like the second largest in September ever.
Yeah,
Which I was gonna ask you now, because I feel like they kind of expand the kind of world of Beetlejuice a little bit more in this. Like, do you think they would try and do another movie?
I think so. I think
Yeah,
it comes down to Michael Keaton. If he would come back for a third, I think they'll do it.
I agree. And
And they
I feel like the like everyone that worked on those movies, like I feel like they all just you know like doing this stuff. So like it's not a problem of them getting together. It's more of Keaton. You're right. If he just wants to do it,
yeah, because without him, I mean,
yeah, no, it doesn't work at
it's not
all.
gonna work.
Yeah,
But and they set it up well for the sequel to have a nice title. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're gonna like expand on like the Soul Train stuff because they
Maybe.
put a decent focus on that in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, they were like, "Oh, what is it? The Beyond or something? What is it?"
The Great Beyond.
Yeah, something like that. That's
Yeah,
where
I
you go,
actually
like
like the kind of Soul Train scenes. Like it's like an actual. They have like all people in like disco outfits and like dancing and stuff like that.
yeah. No, that was cool. It's just another layer of that world
Yeah,
that I really like. I also like how stupid a lot of the jokes are. I can't really think of one off the bat, but there are a lot of, like, dad jokes,
yeah,
you know? Especially Beetlejuice himself says a bunch of them.
yeah.
A complaint I have about the movie, though, is I feel like the plot was a little bit all over the place. There's all these different storylines that no one really gets its proper.
For like ending too. Yeah, I agree.
Like, you have, like, Lydia Dietz, who
Eats.
is struggling with this relationship with her daughter and how she's seeing ghosts still, and she has, like, panic attacks and all this. That
She's
gets
also has
kinda
a.
resolved at the end with
But
her
then
and her
you also
daughter.
have the issue with, like where she's getting married to this guy that she doesn't really like, that's just exploiting her for money. And then I think
Yeah,
they honestly should have just focused on like the relationship with the daughter. I
yeah,
feel
and
like that would
honestly,
have.
Monica Bellucci was great, and one of my other favorite scenes was her getting resurrected.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked the music, I liked just
Kind
how
of
that
the
whole scene.
funny body horror. Not
Yeah,
body. It's I guess it is. Yeah.
it's technically body horror,
Horror,
yeah.
yeah.
You have that, but, like, she doesn't end up playing that big of a role in the movie.
No.
Like, he's like, "Oh, my ex-wife is after me," but that's not really what the conflict is about in the end. It's more about Astrid being stuck
Fuck
down
yeah.
there. So, they maybe coulda cut that out. I mean, I don't
They
know,
also
or
just at
just
the end they kind of Beetlejuice was like, oh, like we have this contract, and they're just like, oh, you violated this code, and then the contract literally just burns. And I know it's supposed to be fantasy, but it's like a little kind of on the nose.
yeah. I mean, that didn't bother me as much, but I don't know.
But
I think Jenna Ortega was great. She was, like, perfectly cast
yeah.
in the movie.
Well, they
She
worked on. Didn't they work on
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah. She's apparently, like, really knowledgeable in film and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
nice to
she
hear.
yeah, and she, I know there was something about Wednesday where, like, she was unhappy with how, like, the trajectory of her character was going, so
Yeah.
she probably used that as, like, a bargaining chip in re-signing
Okay.
for season
Yeah.
2.
Then they said they're gonna be more like horror. Not that I haven't watched Wednesday, but
Yeah, they said they're gonna be more horror focused. I think there's, like, this subplot with this, like, male character that's kinda just a love interest thrown in, and they're gonna abandon it in the 2nd season.
is it the one? Didn't like he have like some allegations against him too? That actor.
Maybe. I don't know. But you know what's funny? Speaking of allegations against them, the husband in the original Beetlejuice,
Yeah,
the
I was
reason
actually going
why
to
that
talk about
yeah,
this.
the reason why the
Yeah.
actor wasn't in it was because he was, like, doing some weird shit. He was, like, sexting minors or something.
Minors, yeah.
But the way that they get around, like, using his face while still using his character is so perfect for this
Yeah.
world. Just
So I
having
don't
him
want.
walk around I mean, what?
Should we spoil it or?
But we've already been spoiling, I feel like.
Yeah, that's fair. We're kind of too late for that. Yeah, you can explain it.
Yeah, so they kinda explain that off camera, he gets his face or his face plus, like, upper body bitten off by a shark. But the way that they get to it is they show it in a claymation, and Catherine O'Hara's character, I don't her name is not in my mind right
Isn't it
now, but
Delia Dietz?
maybe Delia, I don't know. But she kinda explains like, "Oh, my husband got into a plane crash." And then I think she's talking to Astrid, or no, she's talking to Lydia when
Yeah.
she's first explaining it to her. She's like, "Oh, did he die from the plane crash?" She's like, "No, he like got stranded in the water." And then she's like, "Oh, did he die from drowning?" She's like, "No, that's not even it. He survived." And then a shark came out of the water and just bit his head off because they had to somehow explain how he got eaten by a shark. But it was just funny
It
how
was
his
funny,
character
yeah.
was like, they still included his character in the movie without recasting him by just, like, not having his
A
face
head.
or head in
He's
it,
like
so
a body with like a giant bite mark in the top of it. Like his
yeah,
whole like front torso is just like a bite mark. He has like a little hole like where his he kind of speaks out of. It's kind of funny.
yeah. Dude, also, I was gonna mention this too because that kinda, brings up, like, how his character design was. There's a lot of, like, blood spewing out of his head or out
Yeah.
of his, like, jugular or whatever was left of him. There was, like, a lot of
A lot of
blood
blood. Yeah, I was
in
gonna
this
say
movie.
that. It was
For
a
a
lot
P
darker than like the original.
for a PG-13, there was a lot of, like, body horror and
Especially
kinda
like
gore.
the kind of end like nightmare scene with Lydia.
Yeah.
And like there's so at spoiler, I mean we're already past spoilers, but there's a scene where like they show Jenna Ortega's character like getting married, and then like it's her giving birth, and then like she gives birth to the baby, and it's like this like little baby Beetlejuice, and it just like kind of kills like all the doctors, but like there's like blood spewing all over the room and shit. Like it's like pretty like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
pretty graphic.
Yeah, for a PG-13. Like I remember like for a second I was like, this is R-rated.
Yeah. That was strange to me. That was something I definitely
I
noticed.
mean, I'm not complaining, but like I thought it was just interesting.
Yeah. Um, you wanna run through your if you had a favorite scene?
Yeah, I mean, I liked obviously the wedding scene, but I'll be different and pick the Soul Train scene. I really enjoyed that scene as well.
Fair choice.
Yeah,
And then favorite characters. For
I,
me, it's probably a toss up between Astrid and Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah,
So,
I agree.
but I gotta probably go with Beetlejuice. Just Michael Keaton still got it. His
Yeah,
performance was great. The character's
without
funny.
without him, the movie doesn't work.
Yeah. But yeah, I also recently rewatched the original. One
Yeah,
thing
so did
I
I
forget
honestly.
about Beetlejuice is he's kind of like just a creep.
Yeah, they
And
toned it down a little more in this.
yeah, he's kind of
Yeah,
like a
because she's like
perv.
mad young in the movie. Winona Ryder, and when the first one came out, she looks like she's like a teenager.
Yeah, yeah. But it would have been weird if he was trying to marry Astrid, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
That
I
definitely
thought they
was
were
like
gonna take that route for a second.
that was definitely an idea that got brought up in the writers' room, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But he probably decided,
they might have
thankfully,
done that
against.
like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah. Dude, am I going crazy? But I swear there's one scene where Beetlejuice is like thinking of all his ex-lovers, and it shows Lydia, and then it shows a dog, and then it
Yeah,
shows
it does.
like
It shows the other guy. Yeah, I saw it.
like what is that implying?
I think it's like one of those kind of like Deadpool esque things where like they just
Yeah,
make
yeah.
him kind of like everyone. Like on some
Dude,
like if they showed a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
there or something, I wouldn't have been surprised either.
Yeah, but a dog? I mean, I was thinking back, like, did I actually see that? But yeah, I'm glad you can back me up there.
No, yeah.
Um, I,
Maybe it's like just people he loves. Like I don't know.
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that's really it for me. I think I'm ready to go to rate it.
Yeah, I don't know
Unless
if
you
you want to go for a rating.
yeah, so Beetlejuice, I gave a 3.5 stars or a 7 out of 10. I think it's a worthy sequel to the original, although I don't think it's necessary this far removed. We're like, what, 30 plus years
Yeah,
away now. But I just love the aesthetic of the world. I love the jokes. Michael Keaton does such a great job as that character. And yeah, the supporting cast also did a fantastic job and was enough to make me enjoy this movie.
yeah.
So,
I also as well gave it a 3.5, so 7 out of 10. Like Matt said, a pretty, pretty worthy sequel to the original, but again, it's not doesn't feel very necessary. But it could have turned out a lot worse, so I'm pretty happy with the product we got.
yeah, it definitely could have been worse.
Yeah,
So, all right. Well, that's Beetlejuice. We can move on now to our movie news for this episode.
yeah,
So we did actually get a couple trailers. Um, the first was we got a trailer for Sonic 3 that gave us our first look at Shadow, who's being voiced
yeah,
by Keanu Reeves. Now, I don't really know much about the Sonic lore. I did enjoy the first two Sonic movies, so I
yeah.
was planning on like seeing this, and I'm like somewhat excited for it.
What do you think of Keanu Reeves' voice? Because he's voicing I guess the villain is Shadow. He's kind of this. I don't know, like Matt said, when I'm versed in Sonic lore, but he's some kind of like government. I don't know. I don't know what are they called? Hedgehogs, like
Hedgehog, yeah,
yeah.
Hedgehog.
But I don't know. I don't really. It just sounds like Keanu Reeves just talking. Like it doesn't sound right to
I
me.
mean, we only heard one like piece of dialogue from him, so I'm willing to wait and see. But yeah, it
But
just
is that
but
for
at
a
the same
reason?
time, like that kind of just is Keanu. Like even in his other movies, he kind of just talks. Like look at John Wick.
Yeah,
He's
fair.
not like, he's not a versatile actor with a lot of range or anything.
Yeah,
He seems like a great guy. I feel like I like him as a person,
yeah,
but it's not like, what do you expect? Like, I don't
yeah.
know. Now, I didn't watch the Knuckles show. I'm pretty sure you probably didn't either.
No.
But
Apparently, it was okay.
yeah, people say it's okay. But I think some people are complaining that like one or two episodes Knuckles isn't even in, which is just like
Really?
classic.
Yeah,
But
but probably budget reason.
yeah, I do like
Uh,
the trailer though. I like Jim Carrey.
yeah,
Looks like he's having fun. I'm glad
looks like
that he's
fun.
still working, even though it's only in
Yeah, I
Sonic
like how
movies.
he only does the Sonic stuff and everything else is too much.
So apparently, Robotnik's grandfather is in it. He's like that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
know who that was, and I saw on Twitter after people were saying it's like Robotnik Senior or something.
yeah, dude,
Um,
I'm kind of surprised by how big the fan base of this is. I mean,
I
we're
mean,
getting a
think it's a pretty
trilogy, but
popular. It's a international video game franchise. It's like second probably to Mario. I feel like it's like Mario and Sonic are like the two biggest game IPs, like
y-
worldwide.
yeah. Think about when the first trailer came out and we saw Ugly Sonic. Can you
Yeah, who
imagine
would have thought
now?
we got three Sonic movies and a fucking spin-off show about
Yeah,
Knuckles?
it's actually insane,
Yeah.
and they all look fantastic.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna say the visuals look great. Like all
compared
the
to the character models, like compared to the game, are spot on,
yeah.
pretty much.
Apparently, the person who designed Shadow, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Shadow.
Um, is good is like behind the visual effects of the movie.
Okay,
So like
that's
we're
cool. That makes
yeah.
sense.
I also it looked like one of the battles in Japan, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think apparently Shadow uses a gun in the games? You think he's gonna get a
Yeah.
gun?
I mean, they had
Uh,
him in the motorcycle. I kind of don't
I
understand the point of the motorcycle if they're like super fast,
I don't know.
but
It's just one of
it
those
just looks
things.
cool. Yeah.
It's like the Spider-Man
The
car.
Spider-Man car. Yeah.
Yeah, one
Exactly.
of those. But
But
I doubt they'll give him his gun. Although that would be pretty funny.
yeah. Next we had the Terrifier 3 trailer that came out a couple well like maybe a week ago. Um Definitely better than the first one in my opinion. You get a lot more of the they kind of explain the plot a little bit more.
Yeah,
We get this look of like a new character that we don't really know what is. Matthew has some speculation on that. I know.
yeah. Um,
Um, yeah, I don't know if you
this
want to talk about that.
yeah, this trailer looked great. I was already hyped for this, but
Yeah,
I love the first trailer too, and this one was even better. But yeah, like you mentioned, it goes a little bit more into the story, and there is some sort of Terrifier lore now that like
yeah,
there's this other character. He kind of looks like this iron worker, kind of. He has this mask
like
on, and
like an
uh,
what are they called?
an ironsmith or something,
Yeah,
or a
whatever.
swordsmith. He's like he's
Blacksmith,
ham
the
a
blacksmith.
blacksmith, a
That's
blacksmith.
the
Yeah,
name.
he's hammering down on something, and like you see Sienna looking at him, and he just like has these fucked up teeth.
Teeth and
Some people are saying it might be art without any makeup on. Other people are saying it's like a demon that possesses art, and people are saying like art is supposed to represent a demon, and Sienna is supposed to represent an archangel, and that's why like she had the wings in the first movie and stuff. So that
that
creature,
makes sense to me
yeah, that kind of sounds interesting.
because I feel like they put so much focus on her wings in the first. I mean, in the second movie, like even in the all the posters and stuff, it's all like pictures of her like with the sword and the wings, like very reminiscent of an archangel.
Yeah, and I saw people saying that um what he's crafting, like the blacksmith, could be her sword that she used in the first movie. Because it has obviously, like, if you or not first movie, second movie, I'm sorry. If you've seen
Yeah,
the second movie, you'll know that that sword has some sort of otherworldly power. It, like, revives her when she
yeah,
almost dies, and it's able to, like, kill Art temporarily.
temporarily.
There's also scenes in the trailer that seem to take place, like, right after the post-credit scene from Terrifier 2, like, in that hall or
Hospital.
the hospital hallway. Um, you see also Art, like, on the subway for one scene with that girl with the fucked up face. That
Yeah,
scene was it looked funny in the trailer. He, like, does whenever he doesn't wear his hat, his head looks, like, huge and
yeah.
insane. But
There's a scene of him, like in the kind of it's filmed in the Staten Island Mall with the Santa Claus.
yeah,
They get a little bit of that too.
that scene where he lifts the Santa mask up and then, like, his actual clown face is underneath. I actually saw them film that exact scene when I was at the mall,
Yeah,
and I remember I was with Emily, and I was like, that we're gonna see that in the movie, and it's gonna be cool. And now I actually saw it, which is just
that's
it was
pretty
just I
cool.
don't know, it was kind
Yeah,
of
it's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, but yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're from Staten Island, and that's also
That's
where
yeah,
Damien Leone is from, and he makes these movies. So they filmed a lot of it on Staten Island. So yeah, that scene where he's sitting in the Santa chair and everything, that was just filmed basically like out in the open at our
at our
local
local mall.
mall.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
it
happened to
wasn't
be seeing
Christmas
it.
time though. I don't think when they did it.
No, 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 it wasn't. I happened to be seeing a movie there, so I
Mm,
actually just saw them film that. It was really cool.
yeah,
Um,
and I feel like a lot of the people that work on the sets and stuff are Staten Island people.
yeah, yeah. I know a couple people through people who like worked on the set or like,
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, I already was really excited for this, but this just made me even more excited. We also got a
yeah,
look today that popcorn
the
bucket that they're
popcorn
doing,
bucket. Yeah,
which is like Art's head with the Santa hat. The
yeah,
fact that this is getting like a popcorn bucket is insane. But
yeah,
they must be able to gauge like how well it's gonna do. I feel
yeah.
like
Like
that bucket's probably got demand, honestly.
yeah, I feel how realistic do you think this movie? How much money do you think it can make?
I don't know, bro. I literally have no idea.
I honestly feel like it could make like 100 million, like in an all time like run. Like I'm saying, like when they after like
Well,
months of
well,
being
didn't the
theaters.
first one make like 80 or something?
Yeah, it made 80. I didn't know that. I thought it made like 20,
Hold on,
40 or something, like 40
let
to 20 or something like that.
me pull it up so that I'm not talking out of my ass.
I know the budget for this one's 5 million, right?
Uh oh no, I'm an idiot. 15.7 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it made that much.
Let me see. Yeah, or 15.3. So yeah, honestly, 100 could be possible. The budget's only 5 million. It's
Yeah,
most definitely. cracking that.
I don't know
That's
if
good.
it's just a lot of the people we interact with are into horror, but it seems like pretty popular. Like they have this stuff at Spirit Halloween, and that's
Yeah,
uh, a nationwide kind of Halloween chain.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I'm really excited for it.
yeah,
But all right, we can move
yeah.
on.
Next we have the Jurassic. We got the title for the new Jurassic World movie. That's gonna have Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey,
Scarlett, can you read?
Johansson. Yeah, I'm sorry. Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, and Mahershala Ali. And I think they're halfway done filming, and it's gonna take place. And there's a plot synopsis, but I hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, while you pull it up, I'll talk about. They also put out some first look images. Don't show much, but you see Mahershala Ali's character holding up a flare. I'm assuming
Yeah,
there's some sort of
isn't
T-Rex
this like
after
his
him.
first movie in like a mad long time?
Yeah, since he won his Oscar, I think
I mean, he was
MCU's
supposed
had
to
him
do
locked
Blade,
up.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
but we'll see if that still happens. Yeah,
yeah,
but we got to see what Scarlett Johansson looks like. Jonathan Bailey is also in the first look image, I think.
he's
Uh,
gonna
d-
be in the Wicked movie, I think.
yeah, he plays like the love interest.
Yeah,
Um, did you find the synopsis or no?
dude, I can't. I don't know why we can't. I can't find it.
I'm pretty sure what I'll just try to. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure what it was
Oh,
was.
this Rebirth is. Sorry, I just
Okay.
found it.
No,
Rebirth
no,
is
go
set
ahead.
5 years after the events of Jurassic World Domain. The planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the ones which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within the tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to mankind. Uh, and it says,
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of drug
yeah.
that, like you just said, that they can access through like whatever it was, the
Oh, it
dino
also
DNA.
says Scarlett Johansson's character's name is Zora Bennett, and it says they find a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by aquatic dinos. They all find themselves stranded on the island, where they come face to face with sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. I feel like that makes me think that it's the reason when they say decades, it makes me think that they're going to have something to do with the first movie.
Yeah, maybe. People are
And with
saying
the
that they
original
might.
writer coming back too, I feel like
Yeah,
I don't know, like some type of with the origin of the dinosaurs on the island or something like that.
I saw people saying they might bring back the Spinosaurus
That would be cool.
because he was Spinosaurus is sick, but the movie he's
Yeah,
in is not great.
yeah. I also saw something that like the two kind of I don't want to say villains because they're like fucking dinosaurs, but um, kind of main dinosaurs of the movie were going to be like this giant bird and then this kind of Tyrannosaurus Rex looking one. A
Yeah,
giant bird would be really interesting, honestly, because like I
yeah,
feel
that
like they've never had. It's always been like reptiles. They don't really do a lot of the other animals.
yeah, it's always like some variation of a T-Rex.
Yeah,
It's like the Indominus Rex.
the
Well, one of them was a raptor actually,
yeah, it was the
the Indoraptor.
Indoraptor. That was the
I for
second one, right? The
the one in
second Jurassic
yeah,
World.
the one in Dominion, I forget its name, but I'm pretty sure it was like a T-Rex-like creature.
Yeah, the guy said it was like he tried to make it like the Joker. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it was the Joker Rex. It was Joker
That's
Rex.
funny. But
Yeah, uh,
yeah. I mean, I'm excited. It's good team attached to it. Good actors. I don't know how they're
yeah,
making that July 2nd release date though. They're not even like done filming yet.
maybe it's all practical effects, who knows?
They got real dinosaurs to
Maybe,
come.
yeah, maybe.
But
Um,
this is just another. This is a little off topic, but because I know obviously that July is pretty packed with movies. We have Jurassic World, Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four all coming out within 3 weeks. Is there a chance you think that any of these move?
yes, I do, and
What do you think
honestly,
it
I
is?
I I think if these movies keep their release dates, one of them will flop. 100%.
Yeah, because I feel like they're all targeting like a similar kind of audience.
And honestly, I hate to say it, but if one of them's gonna flop, it's probably gonna be Superman.
Really?
And if yeah, I
I
think
think it's
so.
Fantastic Four.
Well, here's the thing, you have Jurassic World comes out at the beginning of the
Yeah,
month.
that's it. I think Jurassic
Those
World is the safest bet. Like
yeah,
that's gonna make
those always make money, even
always
the
make
last
money. Even
one.
if it sucks, it's gonna be
Everyone
it'll make money.
everyone the last one I kinda liked, but pretty
I
much
hated the last
consensus,
one.
everyone was like, "This movie sucks," whatever. No one was really talking about it.
It
It's
made
just like
like
it literally made 1 billion for
yeah,
no
it's like
reason.
one of the highest grossing movies of all time.
Yeah. And that comes out at the beginning of the month. I think
Superman is
Superman
the like
the tw
11th or like the
so yeah, Superman comes out the following weekend, and then there's a week off, and then Fantastic Four. So
oh
Fantastic
actually all right,
Four is
Fantastic
like
Four might be
it's
safe.
far enough that it still could probably do well. It's also it seems different enough. It's also MCU, it's hard for an MCU movie to flop. Obviously, it's happened, but
But I feel like the Fantastic Four, just because they've had such a negative connotation with them, like Superman, the name alone is gonna get people to go just because everybody knows who Superman is.
sure, but Superman movies in the past haven't performed amazingly. I mean,
Yeah, but
Man
they
of
also
Steel
haven't
made
been
like what,
really. They haven't also been
500,
really amazing
600?
either. To be fair.
That's true, but people really liked Man of Steel. Even when it came out, I feel like people liked it, and that still made
Yeah,
like
but even then, people thought it was a departure from like the traditional Superman.
yeah.
Like I feel like now when people see I mean, it seems like they're going for more of the kind of like what's the
I
word?
think
Kind
yeah,
of
but I think of all, like, the release dates there, Superman's in the worst positioning,
yeah, I agree as well.
and
I wasn't sure about the release dates. I just know they were all in July, but yeah, I
Jurassic
don't know.
World, they're
That is interesting.
yeah, they're safe, so they're not gonna move, and
No,
I feel like
they're fine.
Marvel has too much pride. They're gonna be like, "We don't give a fuck." So I feel like,
No, I
if
think
anything,
they don't care. They would move.
I don't think they would. Not for a
I feel
DC movie.
like how are they gonna? I don't know. I'm just baffled by the Jurassic World uh turn like turnaround on the filming. Like I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I mean, we have official first look images before official first look images for Superman,
Yeah, but
so
also it's just pictures. It's just like literally pictures of them on set. They could have done that with like
actually,
they
yeah,
could have
that's
took a
true. We
picture of like Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane and been like first look at Superman.
Yeah, we actually do have that Superman picture. I misspoke, but that's kinda like
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get
Like
yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
um. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be. I mean, us as the audience, it's sick because July is fucking awesome. We have three legit blockbuster movies coming out. But I don't know. I agree with you that I think Jurassic World is the safer one, but I don't know between the two. It's tough. But anyway, I kind of to segue into the next topic with Superman we were just talking about. Um, they're also doing a Lanterns show, and it was revealed that Josh Brolin was offered the role of Hal Jordan in the Lanterns DC show. Matt, what do you think about this? I want to hear your opinion.
So, I like Josh Brolin as an actor. I think he's great. He's obviously Thanos. He was great as Cable.
Cable, yeah,
He's not, like, new to superhero stuff, and in non-superhero stuff, he's also great.
yeah,
No Country for Old Men,
he's great in
Sicario,
Dune.
Dune. Is he a good pick for Hal Jordan in my opinion? No, not at all. First of all, because the age, and second of all, the look. I just feel like how I imagine Hal Jordan to look is not how he looks.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I feel like I don't know. To me,
Uh,
there was a couple other names thrown out that I think would have been better, but
Yeah, we'll get to those in a second. But I agree with you that I don't think his look really fits the role. I don't mind the age because they said they're going for an older Hal Jordan, and the main kind of Green Lantern is going to be John Stewart, which so I'm okay with them doing that. It's a little bit of a change, but that's fine. But I just feel like we've seen him. He's going to be playing basically Cable. He's going to be a space cop. It's supposed to be like takes no shit. He's been on he's been part of the Lantern Corps for a while. He's going to be rugged, like that type of thing. And then John Stewart is going to be more of like kind of uh,
the young gun.
the young gun, like out. I don't know, like just guns blazing, that type of thing. Which is kind of a departure from the comics because usually Hal Jordan is like that. Like John Stewart in the comics, I believe, is like a military engineer or something like that. He's like very calculated. So it's interesting that they're gonna do that, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
The
we'll
other
see.
names that we would that I don't know if you want to say them, Matt.
Just off the top of my head, I know Chris Pine, Timothy Olyphant, if I'm pronouncing that right,
He's from
and
for those who don't know, he plays the kind of Boba Fett fake sheriff guy in so what is the second season of Mandalorian?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, he has other like more
thing. Yeah,
notable roles, but for the nerds, that's probably
the
what you'll
nerds. Yeah,
recognize him as. What was the other? So Chris Pine, him, and there was two others,
Matthew
right?
McConaughey
Oh, McConaughey.
and Ewan McGregor.
Those, I mean, of those four, I think Pine
Pine's my favorite, and
and Ollie and
honestly, I kind of like McGregor too, just because I feel like he could be more of that like
you mean McConaughey?
not McConaughey. I'm sorry. No,
No, you said McGregor.
oh, not
Math,
McGregor.
Matthew
Uh,
McConaughey.
no, the guy who plays Obi-Wan.
Oh, you and oh wait,
Isn't that his name?
dude, did I just check you and you're actually right? Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
bro.
Maybe I'm just a freaking
I
dick.
thought I was like having a stroke for a second.
Yeah, no, sorry. You're right. I was just being
Um,
a freaking dick.
a dickhead. No, it's okay. But I feel like Ewan McGregor will kind of be that more of kind of positive Green Lantern. Like I don't know if this makes sense, but like I could see them like advertising his Green Lantern to kids, like seeing his toy at Target and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like McConaughey's in the same boat as Brolin, where it just I look at him and
Yeah,
I don't think Hal Jordan. Like just that's not,
yeah, yeah. I agree.
not that I'm a huge Hal Jordan fan, but I don't
Yeah,
know. It just doesn't really look
but
like
like I don't put it this way. And out of those four actors, like if either four of those get it, I feel like they'll be fine. Like they won't be bad necessarily in the role. Like they're all
no.
like talented actors in my opinion.
Yeah, like McConaughey is
Yeah,
amazing,
that's probably yeah. That's crazy
but
that he's even. I don't think he would do that.
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I feel like probably Brolin's probably just gonna end up taking it.
Really? Does he do
Yeah.
shows? I feel like he doesn't really.
I'm sure he does. Fucking actors do shows now because they're not the
Yeah.
same as how they used to
Yeah,
be.
it's gonna be like a big budget HBO show, so
Yeah.
probably.
So
And honestly, he worked with Gunn in Guardians. That was his first appearance in the MCU.
yeah, that's true.
So,
So
but yeah.
all right.
Moving on. I don't know if you want to talk about this because it kind
Yeah,
of
I could.
ties in with HHN.
Yeah, I could talk about this. So we got our first look at Wolfman, which releases January 17th, my birthday. Um, the trailer looks really good. It has a great cast: Julia Garner and Christopher Abbott as I guess they're like a couple and they have a daughter.
Yeah.
Seems like a typical Wolfman story, but directed by Lee Winnell, who I'm a big fan of. And the one thing that I will say is we get like a little glimpse of him in the trailer, but if you guys are active on Twitter, you've probably seen that we got our first look at like what the Wolfman's gonna look like from Halloween Horror Nights because there was someone in a costume
Yeah.
dressed as him, and it looks awful. It looks like
Yeah,
I
it
haven't
looks
seen a
really good.
single person even try to defend it. And to me, it's like, how do you fuck up something that simple?
Well, to be fair, I also think it's really stupid of Blumhouse to give the first release, the first kind of public look at the Wolfman creature from a haunted house scare zone, like in a practical suit. Like it just looks very weird, and it's obviously not. It's more designed for the actor in it to move around than for it to look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
I
I
mean,
feel like it's as honestly, I think that they released this trailer kind of as a rush to because that kind of thing came out online and it was getting such bad press that they wanted to put something out with the movie. Because we really don't get a lot in the trailer. It's pretty generic scenes of the woods, like people in talking, and
yeah, but I don't know. It's just like, how do you fuck this up? Like, it's literally Wolfman. Like, make him look like a
yeah.
wolf.
I mean, listen, maybe by the end of the movie he looks like a wolf.
Maybe.
but we don't
But
know.
also
So
in the trailer, you could see that there's, like, bits of the transformation
he
scene
looks
and
more like a human. Yeah, no.
like, his, hand, it does the classic werewolf where it kinda, like,
Yeah,
elongates, but there's no fur. It's, like, just
yeah.
his skin.
Damn.
I think you tweeted, like, they said,
Yeah,
"Fuck it, man
man wolf.
wolf."
Yeah,
That's dead
because
ass, like
it just looks like kind of like a fucking werewolf with alopecia. Half the hair's missing off and stuff, you know.
it looks so bad. Like, I just
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
get.
yeah, we'll see. May it's Do you think it's too late for them to fucking go do
Yeah,
like?
I think so.
I mean, I
I
don't
think so.
know. It's not that hard to like design a werewolf. I feel like it's pretty easy. There's so
Yeah,
many
but,
things
like,
to
let's
pull from.
say something like Ugly Sonic, they were able to get rid of that because that's a
It was
fully
all
CG.
CGI. Yeah, that's fair.
This
Yeah,
is different, yeah.
yeah.
Unless they do a fully CG and put it over this
But honestly,
abomination.
they do like what a Thing remake situation.
Yeah, which probably would
Um,
be worse.
Worse, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
honestly, I was thinking about this, so did you ever see the Invisible Man remake?
I have not, but I know it's very. I've heard like really good things about it.
So that also kinda does, like, its own spin on the
Yeah,
classic
isn't it like
film.
a suit or
Yeah,
something like that?
instead of
Like,
the original, he, like, has a potion or something.
yeah,
This one, it's a suit. So I
yeah.
guess Lee Winnell wants to, like, try to put his own
Didn't
stamp on
spin
it,
on it.
so in
I
that
honestly, but
way.
that change, like, I don't mind. I feel like the werewolf though is a little. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know,
more iconic. It's
yeah, I agree. Like, no
that would
one's
be
gonna
like,
get mad if you change the origin of, like, how the Invisible Man gets his powers, like, no one
yeah,
gives a
like
fuck.
only yeah,
But if you change, like, a fundamental aspect
aspect of the
of
character,
the
or I mean not
character.
character, or for the creature.
Yeah, like, it's called Wolf Man. It should
Yeah,
look
like
like a wolf.
imagine we do. They. I'm just saying as an example in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. He's not like either gray or green. He's just like regular looking. Like that would be mad. Like I'd be fucking tight. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I feel
But
like Guillermo has more respect, though.
yeah, no.
He's known
Guillermo
as.
is very cultured in that aspect, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
But
but alright,
yeah.
we can
I
move
mean,
you.
we'll see. It's still a lot of talent attached. So
Yeah, I thought it was a good trailer. I liked the
yeah,
trailer,
yeah,
so you could talk about this
yeah.
next thing. Yeah.
This actually literally just dropped maybe like 10 minutes before we started recording. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about that because that's newer. We'll talk about something else quick first.
Okay.
Um, so out of the DC corner, we should have spoke about this earlier, but Luca Guadagnino, the director of Challengers, and his next project is this movie called Queer. But he's apparently set to direct a movie called Sergeant Rock for DC, which is essentially he's just like a war guy. Like he's just a World War II captain. There's nothing really kind of I don't know, unique about his character, so I don't understand why they're doing this. But it's the same writer as Challengers, and it's Luca Guadagnino, so I'm just really intrigued. If this is true, it hasn't been like confirmed, but James Gunn hasn't debunked it either. So I mean, that's also usually pretty
Yeah.
indicating.
I feel like if this is true, it's gonna be either Elseworld or
It's going to be a
not
period piece. It has to
it's
be.
gonna just not connect at all.
I mean, it could be in the past. It could be set during World War II in the main like DCU.
Yeah, yeah, it's either gonna be that or an Elseworld because, first of
But
all, like, who gives a fuck about
yeah,
Sergeant Rock?
I'm more excited about the people attached in the actual
Yeah, I
movie.
feel like
That's the only
what
reason why I'm actually interested in this.
what makes the most sense to me about how this came about is that DC was just looking for directors and going to them being like, "What would you wanna direct for us?" And they asked Luca, and he probably, like, looked up DC characters and, like,
Yeah,
scrolled
but like,
the 500th page of Wikipedia and found Sergeant Rock and was like,
I don't,
"Yo,
yeah, I
I
don't
wanna
know.
do Sergeant Rock."
But I don't
And
even
then
know
at
what he
that
would.
point, they couldn't say no because it's Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah,
But because why would they, like, why would DC Studios wanna make a Sergeant Rock movie?
but I feel
Doesn't
like
make any
this was
sense.
talked about before he was even mentioned. Like they had, I've always remember hearing that they were going to do something with Sergeant Rock. It's one of those like James Gunn kind of obscure characters. Now he has the keys, so he can do whatever he wants.
That's true.
Like Creature Commandos, I don't know if you know that he pitched that to DC, like when he was doing Suicide Squad, and they didn't want to do it. And then when he became head, he like greenlit it. which
That's
like
yeah.
go off. It's like he's head, and it looks cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, but Creature Commandos at least has more appeal than Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, what
I
is
know.
he just like a normal sergeant? Like, does he have
From
any
what I've
powers?
gathered, yeah, I feel like they have to tie it to some bigger character or like something like maybe like it'll tie to like Wonder Woman or something like that's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe Luca will fall in love with superhero filmmaking and then
Yeah, and then he'll
wanna
do. People
he'll
were
do
saying that he would do it maybe Authority because he does a lot of like um gay characters, and the two like main superheroes in Authority are in a gay relationship. So people were saying that, but I don't like. Has he even done action stuff before?
not that I know of. I mean, obviously, his
So
most famous is Call Me by Your Name,
yeah,
but, I mean, Challengers has, like, some
some
action, I
action.
guess you
Yeah,
could say.
I guess they're kind of the tennis scenes are technically kind of action scenes.
Yeah.
Um,
He's done horror stuff too.
really? What do you do?
Suspiria remake
Oh
and,
yeah, I forgot about that.
what the fuck's the one where Timothy Chalamet eats people?
Bones and all.
Yeah. Although that's kinda more thriller, but
Yeah.
I kinda thought when I heard he was gonna be directing something for some reason I thought Teen Titans, I don't know why, but my
I
f
mean, yeah, I guess because Challenges is kind of dealing with like teen relationships.
yeah, I don't know why I thought of that, but because
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
not a
because like,
horrible like
coming of
pick,
age,
honestly.
he does, like, coming of age stuff,
Yeah.
so
Um. But yeah. Anyway, next topic of news. So we finally got our director for Spider-Man 4, and it's Dustin Daniel Creighton, who is the director of Shang-Chi, and who was originally attached to direct Avengers 5. Filming is eyeing to begin in early 2025, and Zendaya and Tom Holland are both expected to return. Everything about this I love, except that Zendaya is returning.
yeah, I
I
was
don't know
gonna
if you
say,
agree.
I feel like it was inevitable that she was gonna come back,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Especially with how well she's been doing in film recently.
just story-wise,
It just
like
doesn't. It ruins the ending of the third one.
yeah, but we'll see how they handle it. I
Yeah.
mean, I kinda because her being around just kinda limits Spider-Man's love interests because he has other cool love interests in the comics, like
Yeah, I
Black
was kind of
Cat,
hoping they.
Gwen
Yeah, I mean, it's still
Stacy.
possible that they do like Black Cat, and she's just kind of a side character in it.
I feel like they kinda wanna,
Make
like,
him like
buy
fuck around.
into I feel like they wanna buy into the, sorry, can you hear
What?
me? My
Yeah.
monitor just turned off.
No, you're good.
Uh, they wanna buy into the, like, real life romance of them and kinda, I feel like that stuff always pushes a movie. Like,
Yeah.
if, like, the people are dating in real life, it's just like a
Yeah.
story, you know? So, I feel like that's why they're keeping her around, but we'll see what
Yeah.
happens 'cause they
Yeah.
didn't say anything about Jacob Batalon, but I would assume he's part of the package because him and MJ are friends.
Yeah. It
Like
also doesn't specify her role. She can only show up for a little bit. Like it
yeah,
doesn't. I'm kind of hoping it's something like that.
yeah,
But I don't know about you, but the biggest thing I take away from this is I feel like the action scenes are definitely going to be better. Not that they were
yeah.
bad, but
Yeah, I don't think they were
Shang-Chi
bad.
was
I think people love shitting on Tom Holland Spider-Man movies,
yeah.
but they're all, like, pretty good.
No,
I
they're solid. Yeah.
really like Homecoming. I'm a fan of also of Far From Home. I know people say it's, like, the worst Spider-Man movie, but in my opinion, not even close. Um, and No Way Home is, like, one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, that's obviously, like, nostalgia,
Yeah.
but
But it's
the
still a
action
good
scenes are
it's
good.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
still a good movie.
so,
Um so yeah, I also like I don't know who the villain's going to be. I actually have no idea. Apparently it's going to be
um
multiversal. I kind of hope not, but actually it probably is now that it's going to be set in between the two Avengers movies. Um,
yeah.
the only thing that kind of interests me is that what if he gets the black suit in Avengers 4? Because that he gets it on Battle World
I feel like
technically,
maybe he'll get it at the end of 4.
or he'll get it at the end of 4, like use it
Or no,
in
5. Wait, wait, I'm
4.
sorry.
I mean, like end of Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, no, I'm an idiot. I feel
Because
like
like I feel like
maybe
what?
he'll get it at the end of Avengers, and then, like, they'll deal with it in Spider-Man.
Because I feel like I feel like what they're gonna do is like it makes sense for as a character. Like, let's say like they lose in Avengers 5. Spider-Man 4 is like on Battle World. So he's gonna probably get the suit sometime during that movie, and then like he'll use it to help defeat Doom, and then like at that point he's not gonna wanna. It'll be to have corrupted him. So the next Spider-Man movie can maybe be like the kind of Venom saga. Like they'll be introduced to Eddie Brock. Maybe he'll work with the Daily Bugle in that one.
I wonder, because how far removed will that be from Venom: The Last Dance? Because I know that's
Past 20, it'll be past 2027, at least 2028, 2029, maybe. This is talking about probably like post. I'm assuming they're gonna do a reboot after these next two Avengers movies, or like a soft reboot.
yeah. Any chance it's Tom Hardy Venom? I feel like maybe.
Nah, I think it's at this point because like if Eddie Brock is supposed to have like a rivalry with Peter Parker, so they're gonna want someone similar in age to him.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
I feel like they'll definitely Miles is gonna be involved in some aspect in one of these.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Uh,
it just makes sense. Like, why
yeah,
isn't Miles in these movies yet?
I know.
He's such a
He's a
popular
cool
character.
character too. Like, as I
Yeah,
know he's very popular, but he is like a cool character.
yeah.
But yeah,
All right. Let's move things
move
along
on.
here.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we get to our last film, the list I recommended last episode was for our top 10 favorite sci-fi films. Sci-fi is one of my favorite genres, probably besides horror. So I'm excited to get into this. So number 10 for me is not one that's maybe like traditional sci-fi when you think of it, because I feel like when you think of sci-fi, you think of like space and aliens. But number 10, I had War for the Planet of the Apes. It's my
That's that.
favorite.
Yeah, I consider that
Yeah,
sci-fi.
it's my favorite Apes film. Um, love Caesar. I feel like we recently talked about this franchise a little bit just because of Kingdom coming out and everything.
Yeah.
But I love War the best. I don't know. People like Dawn the best, but I just feel like the VFX were insane. I watched it in 4K
Yeah,
recently.
no, it is crazy.
And Caesar's just such a great character.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's the thing. I know it's a little off topic, but that's the thing about the new ones is like none of the characters even come close to Caesar.
yeah, I mean, it's too early to tell though, because Caesar in the first movie, he definitely
He's
had
like,
some
all
like
right.
epic moments, like when he said no, but
Yeah.
he wasn't like as awesome as he is in,
And
like towards
yeah,
the end.
that's fair. Fair. Um, but yeah. I wanted to give like some honorable mentions. I don't know if you want to do that. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No, you can go ahead.
One of the honorable mentions was Mad Max, another really good sci-fi movie. But just like barely missed it, and also Machina, which is kind of like it's not like traditional sci-fi,
I would say that is traditional
yeah,
sci-fi.
but I
It
feel like it's
involves like
elevated. Maybe elevated
androids.
sci-fi would be the word,
Yeah.
but really good cast. But just missed my list. Number 10, I actually had the original Godzilla. Um, I think one of the most important. Would you consider this sci-fi, right?
Yeah, definitely.
One of the most important sci-fi movies I think ever made, and such a huge cultural icon. It had such a big impact on my life as well. I love Godzilla. It's part of the reason why I started watching movies and stuff like that. So yeah, not the only
Yeah.
Godzilla movie on here.
No, Godzilla and Ex Machina both like just made it off my list. So all right, anyways, number 9. This one's definitely more of a traditional sci-fi. I have Dune Part 1. This is one that obviously has become more popular with time just because of how amazing Dune 2 was. Spoiler alert, that's on my list later on. But it's just, it's such a great typical sci-fi story of following this chosen one, and you could see the inspirations that this story has had on other sci-fi films such as Star Wars and things like that. Not to mention just how well the film itself is made. Denis Villeneuve, one of my favorite directors, probably the best sci-fi director of all time, in my opinion. Hot take, but
I
yeah,
mean, and when it's said and done, He's up there. Him, Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, because think about his slate.
No,
He
I
has
know. He's
the
got
Dune
Dune
movies,
movies,
Blade Runner,
Blade Runner.
Arrival.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually
Insane.
insane. Dune, like the first Dune is probably his worst sci-fi, and that's still like really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And then he's gonna have more sci-fi stuff coming out soon.
Yeah, that Rendezvous with Rama is
Rendezvous
coming out.
Yeah. I don't think it's a hot take at all.
Yeah, I just maybe like best ever is a hot take because I feel like you
Yeah, that's
James
because he's so
Cameron's
new.
definitely got to be considered.
Yeah, like
But
Terminator, Alien.
yeah,
Aliens.
yeah.
But yeah. Number 9 for me, I actually had Nope, which came out pretty recently, 2002. There's a lot I liked about this movie. I love like the setting. The creature is super unique. I feel like it's such a different take on an alien movie, and kind of the way it operates is really interesting. I really enjoy this. I think it was honestly slept on. A lot of people feel like don't like this movie.
I feel like people like it.
I feel like the discourse online is like this is worst. Peel's worst.
No, I don't think so. I think people say Us is his worst. I
Really?
personally think
I think
Nope.
Us is his worst.
I think Nope is his worst,
Really?
but like it's not bad at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair. Yeah.
he's just that good.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was it.
Yeah.
All right, number 8 for me. This is like a sci-fi horror. I have The Fly, directed by Cronenberg or David, I guess I'll specify, and starring Jeff Goldblum. So The Fly is a disgusting film, and I love it. It's just it goes into like what I love about sci-fi is like these weird sort of thought experiments of like what if science was able to do this, and it shows what could possibly go wrong in that scenario. That's like exactly what this movie is. A man accidentally turns himself into a half man, half fly when trying to invent teleportation. Great use of body horror, great performances, great direction. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a classic.
I actually had The Fly as number 8 as well. I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I really like some of the best horror, body horror in a movie, I think.
Yeah,
And Goldblum's just great. I don't. This is one of the ones that I don't understand why they've never tried doing something like this again.
I don't know because it already is a remake in itself. But yeah, I'm surprised that I've never heard of. Oh, this
Not The
person wants
Fly
to
too, but
do.
like they could just do like a different take on it.
Yeah, they definitely could.
But yeah,
All right. Number 7 for me, I have Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We were just talking about James Cameron as one of the best sci-fi directors. And I think this is the best Terminator movie. It does the concept perfectly. It has to do with time travel and cyborgs, popular things in the genre.
yeah,
Great performance by Arnold, who is not necessarily known for his performances, but his sort of choppy and robotic line delivery obviously works perfectly for this character.
yeah.
And aside from that, it's one of the best action movies ever made as well. So,
I feel like he's just such a presence on screen too.
yeah,
Like
it's
he's
such
just
an
such a
iconic character.
yeah. Damn, I forgot about the Terminator ones. I didn't realize it until we started talking about it before. Uh, no, what are we on number 6?
So you're 7.
I'm 7. Um, Number 7, I have Rogue One, which is directed by Garth Brooks, I believe, right?
Garth Edwards.
Garth Edwards, I'm sorry. Garth Brooks, the singer. Honestly, this is a hot take. I think this is the second best Star Wars movie.
That
I
is a hot
love
take.
I love Rogue One. I think it's the best shot Star Wars movie by far. It has the best visuals and arguably the best scene in all of Star Wars. The Darth Vader scene at the end of towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
Really? Arguably, I'm not saying it is, but
Yeah, no, I respect your opinion, but I disagree with everything you just
I
said.
think it's the most unique of all the horror. Like, it's the only one that actually tries to do something different, and in my opinion, like sticks to the landing.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
I think
It's a good
it's
movie.
criminally slept on.
Yeah. All right.
Didn't people like shit on it when it came out?
I think people liked it. I'm pretty sure it made 1 billion actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know
I
that.
think I was recently looking. You could look this up while I talk about my next one.
Yeah.
But I think I was looking at like every movie that's ever made 1 billion, and I was like, "There's no way Rogue One made 1 billion," because I
Yeah.
like saw it on
Damn.
there.
They just made it 1.06.
Yeah, I think people
I really
people
liked
liked
it.
it because
Yeah.
like
I mean, it made
People,
Andor
yeah,
really
Solo
popular.
people didn't like, and that one didn't perform well. So
I still have not seen Solo.
really, yeah, I've seen. I
Yeah.
liked it. It was fine,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not on my list though. Shocker.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah. No, I figured.
Number 6, I have Blade Runner 2049. I think this is a superior film to the original, directed by Ridley Scott, who's also probably up there as one of the best sci-fi directors. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is directed by Denis Villeneuve. It's everything you'd want in a legacy sequel. And the thing that I like about it the most is the visuals and the world and just how everything is shot. The film is so beautiful. And I really don't love the story. Like the story's fine, but I feel like the story is just a vehicle to like show us Denis' direction,
Yeah.
and he kind of carries the film in that aspect. So
Fair. Uh, so for what's number 6?
yeah,
Number 6, I have Avatar, directed by James Cameron. I feel like this might be kind of a hot take because it's maybe not the most culturally significant. People don't really remember it besides the visuals, but I feel like when this came out, and you could vouch for me because I feel like you remember this too. Like there was people like that were dead ass depressed when they walk out of the movie because the world did what is it Pandora, right?
yeah,
Pandora didn't exist.
yeah,
I feel like it set the standard for visual effects for basically all modern sci-fi movies.
yeah. No, that's honestly a good pick, but I kind of disagree with you in what you said about how it's not really like culturally significant or like stuck with people. They
Yeah,
literally have a Pandora world in Disney.
yeah, but one, it's also like the least popular like park in all the Disney ones, and I feel like every time like I haven't gone there, but the stuff I've seen about it, like it's not very popular. But besides that, when you say the word Avatar, I don't even think about this franchise first. Not that I love the Avatar franchise. I'm not trying to tarnish it or anything like that. But I think of Avatar: The Last Airbender just because that came out first, and I've like seen that more. Like I saw that before this came out. I feel like even when I say the word Avatar, most of the people that I talk to say um, The Last Airbender. I don't know if that's just me.
I guess. I mean, yeah, maybe because I'm a cinephile. I
Yeah,
would think. I also like don't really like. Not that I don't like it, but I've never really watched The Last Airbender, so I wouldn't
yeah,
think of that. But
but yeah.
yeah, that's a fair
Um,
pick.
but
Um,
honestly, yeah, I guess you're right about you're right about technically the theme park
yeah,
stuff.
you had to have a James Cameron on there though, to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
So, all right. Number 5 for me, I had Dune Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve, which came out this year. Still my favorite movie of the year in September. Um, we had a whole episode about this film. I feel like it kind of speaks for itself. I don't really
yeah,
have much to say about it besides like it was visually stunning,
yeah,
and I loved how they concluded that story, that arc of the story. I know there's
yeah,
going to be like a third film, but it's kind of like separate. Like Paul Atreides kind of got through his arc.
yeah. When it picks
Well,
up the third one, isn't it just like them at war?
it's like years later. I don't know if they're actually going to follow that, but we'll see.
I feel like probably, but yeah. Number 5. This is kind of an out there pick, but I have Godzilla versus Destroyer, which is the kind of ending of the Hensai era of Godzilla movies. And through these movies, there's like 8 of them. Godzilla kind of has like an arc as like almost like a character. So like you kind of see the ending of the arc of Godzilla. Like he has like a child at this point. So it's really you like spoiler alert, like he ends up dying, and then like you actually kind of get upset as the audience. You're like, wow, holy shit, like they're getting me to fucking get a tearjerker out of a giant lizard. But the fights are also really good. We get Burning Godzilla from this, and Destroy is just such a cool design for a kaiju. I know, Matt, we have like the kind of statue of it, not a statue, but
Like a little figure.
figure in our room.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this movie, but I know you love Godzilla, so
Yeah,
I can respect that pick. But
yeah,
all right. So number 4 for me, I have probably what would be a lot of people's number 1, and that's 2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick. It's one of the most influential sci-fi films ever made. It's one of like the earliest ones that I've ever seen,
yeah,
from 1968, and just like completely stunning in its effects work and visuals.
yeah,
Scenes of people floating and the use of gravity and stuff is better in this movie from 1968 than something like, I don't know, Life from like whenever that came out, like
yeah.
2015
2015.
or whatever.
Such a random movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to think of like a shitty space movie,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's number 4.
yeah. Um, for me, number 4, I actually had Alien. Uh, I actually rewatched this recently to prep for Romulus, and for coming out in 1979, like the effects are great, like the practical effects and stuff like that, and just the design of the creature is so iconic, and the fact that people imagine going to a theater and seeing this movie and having no idea what the alien looks like, because they know that in the promotional art it's just the pictures of the egg and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that was always really interesting to me. Of like, I sometimes think about that, like seeing a movie when it actually came
it
out,
came out, yeah.
especially in a time before, there's sneak peeks, there's trailers, and like there's all this
Yeah, like I
shit.
feel like stuff always leaks now. Like how often in an alien movie? Well, actually, honestly, nope. Not. I didn't really get any leaks about what the alien was, but I feel like for the most part, a lot of the big movies, stuff like this usually leaks early.
Yeah, or they like just show it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
all right, that's a good pick. Getting into the top 3.
yeah,
Number 3, I have The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Episode 5. I think it's the best Star Wars movie. It perfectly cracks that formula of what Star Wars is and what Star
yeah,
Wars should be. Visually stunning again. I know you mentioned how like Rogue One is has the best visuals of any Star Wars film. I prefer the visuals of the original trilogy. Um,
fair.
but yeah, also all 3 of the original trilogy would have been on my list, but I just kind of wanted to. I just put this one here because I didn't want to like have multiple Star Wars on my list, just like
Yeah.
hogging
No,
up
I did the
spots.
same thing as well.
But yeah, that's my
Or
number
else
3.
this would have been on my list too. But yeah. Number is that it for you?
Yeah, sorry, that was it.
For number 3 for me, I had Dune 2. I'm trying not to recency bias aside. This is arguably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Matt, you said pretty much everything that needs to be said about it. Like this, it just hits on so many different levels. I don't know how they will ever top this. Like, I don't think 3 will be as good as 2. I don't like how. I don't know how they. How do you get better than this?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Um, so not to discredit, the team behind 2 and 3 or whatever, but yeah, I think it's gonna like when we look back at this in like 20 years, it's gonna be up there as like one of the greatest uh sci-fi movies ever made.
Yeah, and joins a number of greatest sequels ever made with The Dark
Yeah,
Knight and
isn't that
Godfather
crazy?
Part
He
2.
has 2 of the greatest sequels ever made.
Who Denis? Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a reason why he's my favorite director, bro.
yeah,
But all right, number 2, I have like a very non-traditional one, but I actually have Her, directed by Spike Jonze from
yeah,
2013. It's definitely sci-fi because
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like a futuristic
Futuristic
world
society. Yeah,
where AI has gotten so powerful that I could literally like become in relationships with humans,
People.
which
Yeah.
honestly, in our world, we're not that far off from that.
Yeah. Not
We're
at
really
all.
not.
I mean,
But
ChatGPT, you could just sit and text the thing all day if you want to.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, that's my favorite performance of his, and he's my favorite actor. So,
Yeah.
and also I just like love the film, what it has to say about relationships, especially the fact that like this came out in 2013. It said a lot about, long distance relationships and like virtual, like quote unquote virtual relationships. Like think about what we went through during COVID,
Yeah.
having to only speak to people through a phone. It's no different. You're speaking to your phone.
You're right.
So
Yeah. Um.
I don't know. It was very, very influential film for me
Yeah.
personally. So
No, it was a really good movie. Number two for me, I had Blade Runner 2049. And I wasn't even a big fan of the original, but I just think I think this is the best sequel. It's one of the best sequels, like arguably, but it's just the acting is great, the plot's really good, the action's good, the sets are like amazing, the kind of world that it takes place in. Do they have a name for the world? Is there like a? I don't think so,
there,
right?
I think it's like a real place or
No,
no.
like no. I mean, like in that world, like, is there a name for like whatever they live?
Um, I'm looking it up right now. Blade Runner world name.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
and I wasn't. I
dystopian. Yeah,
honestly
yeah.
think
No,
the.
no. It's a dystopian Los
I
Angeles.
know it's.
Yeah, I
Oh,
knew.
okay, okay.
I knew it was like a real place, but
Yeah, it's like a cyber whatever, but yeah, I wasn't even a big fan of the original. Like I said, I think it's honestly a little bit overrated, but this is fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was on my
You,
list too. It's a
yeah.
great pick. So,
Let's hear your.
all right, number one, I think to no surprise at all, I have Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. This is my favorite
Yeah.
movie of all time. Says so much about being human and what it means to, be in relationships and go through with things that you may know are doomed for failure,
Yeah.
but doing them anyway because that's just what life is about. It's about experience and experiencing things while also at the same time being an awesome alien movie aside from all that. Uh, it always hits for me. Great music, great visuals. Love the twist. It's like one of my favorite plot twists of all time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That is a really that was another one that I know I don't like it as much as you, but another really good stuff.
yeah.
For me, this is gonna be kind of a surprise. My number one sci-fi movie was The Thing by John Carpenter. I don't know if you consider that a sci-fi, but
Yeah, that's considered sci-fi.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite horror movies ever made. In my opinion, the best use of body horror in any movie ever. Like the Thing creature is just such a unique idea to have like an alien kind of take the shape of a human, but like transform itself into I don't know the word, kind of like other forms with people's bodies. It's just such a unique idea. I really wish that the Thing was more prevalent now. Like there hasn't been any. They've only made the original Thing. Well, there's the original one from like the 50s, I think. Then there's the one in the 80s, and then they made the one in like 2011. But I'm
I, f-
surprised that there hasn't been any other like movement on anything projects.
I feel like John Carpenter has mentioned shit about it.
There's been like mentions of things because I feel like in like today's film world, like a body like this would be such a good idea. And it's such an easy concept. You just take the Thing and drop it literally in any setting, and it would work. Like you could just be like, oh, what happened if the Thing like lived in an apartment complex in New York City or something? You know what I mean? Like there's just so many ways you
Yeah.
could take the franchise.
Or
Because
like
the only two movies have only taken place in the Arctic.
like think about a movie like Bodies, 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 for example. If the
Yeah,
twist of that would have been, oh, it's a creature
feature. Yeah,
that
exactly.
that
Yeah,
could have been cool. It could have
yeah.
worked. But
But yeah,
all right,
that's
yeah,
that's
that's a
my
good
number
pick.
one sci-fi movie. But
That's a good pick. That's a good
yeah,
pick.
thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that list.
Yeah,
So
that was a fun list.
yeah. All right. So now we can move on to Joe, what you recommended last week. I don't know if you want to quickly bring up like the synopsis of it
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right
because
now.
this is a movie that is kind of confusing, but
Yeah.
you can go ahead
So
and
I recommended, for those who don't know, the movie called Ju-on the Grudge, which is the basis for the Grudge movie that released in the U.S. in I believe 2004.
Yeah.
So I'll read the synopsis for the movie. When a social worker, Rika, is sent to check on a traumatized old lady whose family have moved in at a site of the numerous Saki family murder case, she unwittingly unleashes a cycle of terror that is transmitted via its victims further and further from its original source. Um, so my initial takeaways from this movie, it can be very confusing at points, and I think I don't know if it's just more the fact that it's not in English, so for us as the audience, it could be a little confusing at times. But overall, I think it's has more of an like people remember the movie. I feel like more for the kind of creature and sound than the actual movie itself. It wasn't as memorable as I was hoping it to be. I don't know if you want to have any other opinion you want to say.
Yeah, I agree that it's not very memorable as I
Yeah,
thought. And one scene in particular that stuck out to me because I know the scene was the scene with the hand in the shower when like the hand goes in
yeah.
her hair. When I think of the Grudge, I think of that, but it kind of
I didn't like remember that going into the movie that that's where this is from.
it was kind of like just underwhelming how it
Yeah,
happened. Like it didn't lead to a scare; it just kind of like happened and they went
yeah,
past it. Like it was creepy, yeah. But yeah, it was very confusing. I don't think it was because of the language. I think also the way it was told, it was kinda, like, non-linear in a way. There's,
yeah,
like, these different chapters. I think it's, like, 6 chapters of the movie.
yeah.
I had to watch a video about the movie after to kinda, like, explain a
Explain
little bit of
everything.
it.
Yeah,
Um, but, yeah, I like the movie more for the vibes and the aesthetic and just this world, the sound of everything, how everything looks. It is
yeah,
creepy in that way. I wasn't blown away by the story. It just seemed like a pretty basic possession story,
yeah.
but
I one thing I'll say is I think the movie does a great use of using sound in the scares. I feel like a lot of the scares are well, people remember the grudge noise, that's pretty familiar, but um I feel like a lot of the scares use sound like to its kind of benefit, like in terms of the noise and sound design and stuff like that. I don't know if
yeah,
that stuck out
I
to
was
you.
gonna bring that up as well. I thought the sound design was great, like you said,
Yeah.
it helps to elevate those scares. That grudge noise that you were saying, I
Yeah.
wasn't familiar with it, but people when I was looking into the movie a little more, people were saying that's, like, kinda what it's known for of that,
Yeah.
like, grudge rattle or whatever. That
Yeah,
was
the
very
rattle.
creepy.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. Another thing about the movie also, there's a lot of cat imagery. I'm sure
Yeah.
you noticed that.
There's the scene where she wakes up and there's all the black cats in the room.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a cat at the beginning, it seems like the dude kills a cat.
Kills a cat, yeah.
I think that was sorta I think because it's supposed to be that guy kills his family, and the family
Those
assume
family
haunts
members are
everyone.
haunting the house, yeah.
So it's the kid and the mom, and
The
then
mom.
I would assume since it showed the cat get killed, it's like a ghost cat now, which I kinda like.
Yeah. That's kinda
But
cool. I didn't think about it like that.
but,
And then I think they possess then the the wife there, right? Of the right?
which hon honestly,
Like they because it's the mom living there. Because all right, so the family gets murdered, and it's the ghost of the mom and the son that are there, and then
yeah.
it's that elderly lady that lives there, and then the husband that's like the businessman, and then there's like his wife, and then the social worker is the girl with that yellow shirt that comes and
Oh,
sees them.
yes, yes, sorry.
So she, I believe the grudge, quote unquote, like possesses the wife first, right? Remember there's a scene of her in the bed, and then like she like lifts up the sheet, and like the lady's under there.
Ye yeah. Yeah, possesses her, but then she, like, ends up possessing
I
someone
think it's
else.
someone
It's
else. Yeah,
kinda like a chain.
yeah. It's like a chain of like it.
It kinda reminded me of Smile a little bit, how, like I don't know if you ever
Honestly,
seen
yeah. Now that you mention it,
it's like
the
how
way it kind of
it
this like
goes from
entity kind of jumps from person to person.
yeah,
Not that it's an entity, but
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, there was
I haven't seen the U.S. remake, but I mean, from I've heard it's bad.
I feel like I would like that one more. It's the same director.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
And
know that.
honestly, you could tell this was low budget, like, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kinda like that about it, but there was certain scenes that, especially at the beginning, like, it shows the boy, and it's so obvious it's literally just a boy with painted white with, like,
yeah.
eyeliner, you know? The
Even, like, the shadow, it's literally just, like, a person with, like, black paint painted on them.
Yeah. So, you could tell it's low budget. I'm sure that the American remake probably had a higher budget. I also think it stars Sarah Michelle Gellar,
It
who's
does, yeah.
yeah, and I'm a fan of hers. You know, she's Buffy. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, actually, I didn't know it was the same director, like, going
yeah.
into this, but they also made, like, an American Grudge 2,
It's, like,
but
12% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
that's sick.
What's the plot?
But also, there's other, like, Ju-on movies, like,
Yeah, there's, like
it's called The
yeah, so
Curse,
technically this is Ju-on the Grudge is, like, the 3rd part in, like, a 3-part series of
but I'm
movies.
pretty sure I was reading that,
Are they, like,
the
not attached to each other or just
The Curse is kinda like his first attempt at making The Grudge, like, The Grudge is
Oh, it's
supposed to
like a
be,
okay.
like, the
Like an Evil
better.
Dead type of thing?
Yeah, yeah, something
Okay.
like that. Um, yeah, there was a lot of scenes, though, that stuck out to me that I liked. I like that scene where she's watching TV and, like, the picture kinda gets
Oh, yeah.
distorted and it's making these weird sounds. That really creeped me out.
And then, like, the face is kinda really fucked up in the
Mm,
on the TV from the light being all distorted.
yeah, yeah. I like when there's that scene where she's laying in bed and there's the boy sitting on the bed and then the mother
Yes.
is, like, leaning the
You know,
head over.
over
That
her, yeah.
that creeped me out. If I saw that as a kid,
That would
that would
freak you,
that
yeah.
would, like, scare me to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, hide under my blanket that night. Um, but
Trying
yeah,
to think
I
what
don't know.
else, yeah.
There were certain aspects of the movie that were goofy, like I brought up. I feel like if it was in a modern movie, I feel like I would get tight at it, but for this, I think it kinda works in a way. Like,
Yeah.
there's one
I mean, it
part
came
where
out almost, like what, almost over 20 years ago.
yeah, like, there's a part where the school girls are looking at these photos and the people have, like, black over their eyes. It just looks,
Yeah.
like, so goofy. It looks so stupid, but
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, it just worked for this
Yeah.
movie. Um,
Do you have a favorite scene?
yeah, I think it was that scene with the on the bed
Yeah.
where
I agree.
where there's both of the ghosts, sort
Yeah.
of. I also kinda really like the ending, like, where she gets sucked into that, like, whatever the fuck that thing was, and
Oh, the
also when, uh, the creature comes down with, like, the blood on its face and it's kinda
yeah.
crawling down the steps. That kinda creeped me out.
Yeah, that's another one where obviously at first glance it doesn't look that scary. It's just a woman in like a sheet with fake blood, but the sound design like elevates the scene so much because you hear like kind of the like I don't know like her like kind of ripping up all the people in the other room.
Yeah, yeah. I also liked how there were some things that it didn't show. Like, there were a certain number of moments where, like, one at the beginning, for example, I forget the name of the character. I think it was Rika. She sorta goes up into the bedroom and just, like, looks in and screams, but it doesn't actually show what's in there. I kinda
Yeah,
liked how, like, the audience could just leave that up to their imagination.
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess favorite characters? Uh, I
Um.
I liked Rika, but honestly, I also really like the businessman guy. His name is Yuji
Oh
Yuji
yeah,
Toyama. Says he's
yeah,
uncredited for some reason, but I really enjoyed him in this movie. I don't know why.
yeah. He looked familiar. It's always in Kill Bill, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a yeah. I feel like to be different, I'll pick Rika.
I also like the boy. He
Yeah,
was good.
the boy was a good
Um,
actor as well.
yeah,
I mean, he didn't really speak a lot,
yeah.
but yeah.
So,
What did you rate it?
I ended up giving this movie a 3 out of 5 stars, so a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think it works well for what it is. The sound design is great. Um, there's lots of good scares. I like how everything looked and just like how this film had a certain aesthetic to it
yeah,
that did creep me out in certain ways,
yeah,
but a little bit underwhelmed because The Grudge is like a horror movie and franchise that is, like people.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a household name, definitely in like the film community and the horror community. But
Maybe it's our fault. The Americans tried to remake it. It's just there's been so many attempts at remaking it that we thought it was big.
yeah, bro, I originally thought you wanted to watch the American one because I didn't even know like this existed.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
No.
I feel like I had heard before that it was based on a Japanese movie, but
I kind of want to watch the plot's like it's like an American nurse moves to Japan and like to work and like it's like the house that someone got murdered in.
that's gonna be you.
Yeah, that would be
That's
sick, dude.
that's gonna be your life after.
Yeah, or the cats, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Um, I'm glad
But
I
yeah,
watched it though.
I gave it a 3 out of 5, so 6 out of 10 as well. Has good elements, but again, like Matt said, not very memorable. It's pretty, bland. Like it's hard to be.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched it though.
Yeah, no, I'm happy we did though.
It was a good rec.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up. Sadly, I like didn't really post a Q&A thing because I've just been so busy the past couple weeks.
good
So
HHO.
no Q&A this week. Sorry. But make sure if you guys are listening and you want to ask us questions, you could. If we don't have a question pull up, you could go ahead and just DM us a question, DM the podcast account, our personal account, whatever.
Yeah,
And we'll definitely answer it.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you want to get into your movie recommendation.
why don't you do your list first, and then
Okay.
I'll say the movie.
So this week, I've been making a conscious effort to try and watch more international films lately, and so I feel like in honor of that, I wanted to do this our top 10 foreign language films. So I mean, preferably, I'm assuming most films that are foreign language aren't from the United States, but I'd like to do movies like not from the United States and just filmed in a different language. So I guess like Britain and UK, kind of, do similar. So anything outside of English, basically.
All right, I got you. That's
Yeah,
a good one. I have a couple 5 out of 5s on there for sure.
yeah. I gotta
So
look honestly.
yeah. Um. All right, and to recommend my movie for episode 57. This is one that we actually talked about a little on here, and we've both seen it already, but I do want to talk about it. And it's Her, directed by
No,
Spike Jonze. I don't know. I've just been craving a rewatch of
yeah.
this, and we've never talked about it on the
I feel
podcast
like this is
before.
something that I would like to rewatch because when I first watched this, like my kind of film knowledge at that point I was so new into movies that I feel like I'd appreciate it a lot more
Yeah,
now.
definitely. I would say like definitely pay attention to how fantastic Scarlett Johansson is in the movie.
Yeah,
Just as the voice,
the voice. Yeah,
her performance is so good. But all right, anyways, if you guys are still here, thank you so much for listening.
yeah. Thank you
I
guys.
I really hope that my mic actually sounds decent this time and not like complete shit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see
Yeah,
what happens. You guys can feel free if you want to leave a like, or if you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating if you
help us a
think we
lot.
deserve it only.
Even if
If
you
you
don't, you can give it to us too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're almost at 2,000 Instagram followers, so once we hit that, we'll definitely do another giveaway. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's really it.
yeah.
Hope you guys have an amazing
Oh my God.
rest of your week, and we'll be
See you in
back
two
in
weeks.
2 weeks. Peace.
Peace.